Alright, guys. Hello, guys. Welcome back to episode 2, season 1. Today's video is about scary stories of Reddit. So, I'm going to be reading uh, creepy stories, alright? Like disturbing, scary, or creepy. Doesn't matter. Okay, if you guys have scary stories, make sure to comment down below. Tell me the scary stories, and yeah. Make sure guys to like and subscribe. Follow my 2 TikTok accounts and my Instagram. So yeah. Okay. A few years ago, I was walking through the woods off the beaten track of. Oh, I already read this. If you guys do not know, I already read one of these. Oh, I already read these. Okay, we're gonna start reading this. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, from now on, he said about 2 minutes. 1 minute at least. Jenny had always been afraid of the dark. She had lost her sight at a young age, and the world had always been a scary place for her. But she learned to cope, and she had always felt safe as long as she had it with her husband. He was her rock, her guide, and she trusted him with all her heart. So when he went on business trip, leaving her alone in the house, Ginny was afraid. She had never been alone before, and the thought of it filled her with dread. But she knew that she had to be strong. She was a grown woman, and she couldn't let her fears get the best of her. So she went about her day doing all the things she normally did. She cooked meals, cleaned the house, and listened to her audiobooks. And every night when she went to bed, she cuddled up next to her husband's pillow, pretending that he was there with her. It was strange and an unsettling routine, but it gave Janie comfort. She knew that she was safe, and that was all that mattered. But it was a strange and unsettling routine, but it gave Ginny comfort, and she knew that she was safe, and that was all that mattered. But one night, as she laid in her bed, something changed. Jenny felt a presence in the room, a sense of uneasy that she couldn't shake. She tried to ignore it, telling herself that it was just her imagination. But as the minutes ticked off by, the feeling grew stronger. Jenny couldn't take it anymore. She reached out and touching her husband's pillow, hoping to feel his familiar warmth. But instead of the soft cotton she expected, she felt something cold and clammy. She recoiled in her oh my gosh, sorry. Her heart racing as she realized that she wasn't alone. There was something in the room with her, something evil and malevolent. She could feel its presence, its breath on her neck, and she knew that she had to get out. She scrambled out of the bed, ran for the door, her hands outstretched as she tried to find her way. She could hear the thing behind her, its footsteps pounding on the floor as it followed her. She stumbled and fell, her hands scraping the floor as as she tried to crawl away, but she could feel the thing closing in. It's a hot breath on her as it prepares to strike. Just when she thought it was all over, she heard a voice in the darkness. It was her husband, filled with concern as he called her out. Jenny's heart soared with hope. She struggled to her legs and ran towards the sound of her husband. Her hands outstretched as she tried to find him. But as she knew, but as she drew closer, she realized that something was wrong. The voice was different, deeper, and more sinister. It was a monster mimicking her husband's voice in order to lure her in. Jenny froze in tear, her mind racing. As she tried to think of a way out, she couldn't let the monster win. Not after everything she had been through. She ran. She turned and ran, her feet pounding the floor as she fought to escape. She could hear the monster behind her, its footsteps growing louder and louder as it closed in. She didn't know how much longer she could keep running, but she knew that she had to try. She had to survive no matter what. But it was too late. The monster was too fast, and before Jenny knew what was happening, it was atop of her. She screamed as it tore her flesh, its razor sharp claws slicing through her skin. She fought with all her might, but it was no use. The monster was too strong, and Jenny knew that she was doomed. She closed her eyes, accepting her fate as the monster's claws dug into her flesh. Now, I don't know if I should continue doing this or just be gone at this point. This happened 5 years ago. There was a big construction site. There was a big construction project in our house, so the entire ground was covered with moss, stones, and dirt. We had two bathrooms, one inside in the house. We had two bathrooms, one inside the house and the other one outside. The inside was still unfinished. One day at 5 a.m., I woke up and had to use the bathroom outside. We had a police dog, so I felt safe. Even though I was scared while I was in the restroom, I suddenly heard the dog barking, and at the same time, I heard footsteps and the sound of stones breaking, as if a large person was walking. I was frightened, but I told myself it was my father. I quickly got out and went inside the house, but when I entered, I found my father sleeping in the same position as before, as if he never moved. My whole family was in deep sleep. To this day, I still don't know what was outside with me. When I, okay, these are really creeping me out. I can hear something moving. I don't know what it is. When I was in third grade, I can't forget the fear of seeing the girl that died in the bathroom. When I was peeing in the toilet, I heard a loud voice, a girl crying very loud. I can't help it but to run away. I tell the teacher a story, but she didn't believe me, so I tell my cousin since we were in the same school. He realized that we both have a third eye. I thought those were fake. I been on the street. We can see ghosts. I was terrified, even on my sleep. I'm having sleep paralysis at very night. So since I go to the Philippines, since I was Filipino, I felt so relieved when I came to the. I don't know what this is saying. Hold on. Oh, well, that's nice to know. Well, to cheer up the mood, we're gonna be reading a funny story because I'm done with this. Okay, so this is a funny and a scary one. I'm gonna. There's no one. Okay, we're gonna be reading. What was the most embarrassing moment of your life? Okay. Alright. Okay. When I was still young, at around 13, I went to a bathroom school, and the stall was locked. A normal person would say someone is in there, but not me. My first thought was, how do you lock a bathroom stall behind you? That's not possible. So I crawled under the stall and boom, there was someone in there. A piece of me still gets cringe when I think about it. We were warming up for a track meet in 7th grade. I was a sprinter on shorter relays of 200 m leg of 100 m. Relay was my best event. I was a final sprinter. I also had an upset stomach. Third leg is about to reach me and I start my rod. I feel a rumble. I extend my arm back and the batch hits my head. I am speed encounter my breath. My breathing is measured. My limbs are working in a perfect harmony. Calm as it is, still water. I don't understand these stories. I'm reading it right, but I don't know anymore.